The National Weather Service in Gray would like to present a short training video on ice accumulation forecasts. The purpose of this quick training is to review what the National Weather Service uses for ice accumulation forecasts. Why is this important? Well, there are actually numerous methods of measuring ice accumulation, which can provide substantially different readings for the same amount of ice. All decision makers must have accurate understanding and communication to ensure we all understand how much ice is being forecasted and the potential impacts associated with that ice accretion forecast. The two most standard ice accumulation measurement techniques are elevated horizontal ice thickness, which is directly measuring ice thickness on an object that is off the ground, and elevated radial ice thickness, which is a technique of measuring ice around a branch or power line. When measuring ice around a power line, there are additional ways of measuring the ice depending on if the ice has accumulated uniformly or non-uniformly around the object. Utility companies mostly use mean radial ice thickness for their impact models. There are simple mathematical formulas that can be used to convert between the differing measuring methods. So what is the big deal about these differing measuring techniques? If you aren't aware of what measuring technique the ice accumulation report is, you can have large interpretation errors in how much ice and thus the weight load there is on a surface-based object. Here's an example of ice accumulating around a wire. This example shows the difference of 1 inch of non-uniform ice accumulation around one side of a wire compared to 1 inch of uniform ice around the wire. Both measurements could be considered 1 inch of ice, but the actual water weight on the uniform ice accumulation wire would be double that of the non-uniform wire. The impacts due to this water weight would most likely be substantially different. We will now take a more detailed look at the two primary ice accretion forecasts that are provided by meteorologists. The National Weather Service official ice accretion forecast is given as elevated horizontal ice thickness, which represents a direct measurement of the depth of the ice on top of an elevated flat surface. Think of ice accretion on the top of a deck railing or a flat roof of a vehicle. Image A shows an example of this measurement technique. The second ice accretion forecast that may be provided is given as mean radial ice thickness. This is common in the utility industry. This measurement is how much ice has accumulated around a circular object, such as a branch or a wire. Image B is an example of this measurement, which is calculated by taking the total diameter of the ice in the branch, then subtracting the diameter of the branch away, and then dividing by 2 to get the ice accretion. You can easily convert between the two methods by simply taking the elevated horizontal ice thickness forecast value and multiplying it by 0.4 to get the equivalent mean radial ice thickness. For example, the National Weather Service official ice accumulation forecast is showing 1 inch for your city. That would be the same as 0.4 inches of mean radial ice thickness forecast. This means to get 1/2 inch of mean radial ice thickness, the National Weather Service ice accumulation forecast would have to be 1.25 inches of ice. Two key points. First, even though the forecasted amounts are different in these examples between the two methods, the amount of ice and thus ice load on object is still the same. Second, it is very important when you are looking at an ice accumulation forecast to know if you are looking at an elevated horizontal ice thickness or mean radial ice thickness forecast. If you misinterpret this information, the messaging of potential impacts from this forecast could be large. To find this product, you need to navigate to our website and then select the winter weather tile on the main page, or you can go directly to the URL on this slide. Once on the winter weather page, select Ice Accumulation Forecasts tab at the top to view the elevated horizontal ice thickness storm total ice accumulation forecast. The storm total ice accumulation valid time varies depending on the length of the event. The ice accumulation forecast is updated twice daily around 3:30 p.m. and a.m., but can be updated as needed within a day during a rapidly changing weather event. If you have any questions on this ice accumulation forecast product, please email the Warning Coordination Meteorologist, Donald Dumont, via this email. In addition, if you would like to get more detailed training on ice accumulations in general, follow this link. Thanks for your attention.